Hey guys, Yousif Alshaker here at the post-E3 Nintendo event. They have everything here that was at E3 plus a little bit more, including 3DS, Wii, DS, all the new titles for the next year. We're going to be able to get footage of all of it, have a chat with all of them, get my thoughts on all of them. Gordon might try and run off and play all of them, but we will have all of them for you here at Blistered Thumbs. Guys, I've just played a bit of the new Super Mario on the 3DS. It plays exactly how you want it to play. It plays like a new 3D Mario game. It's a little bit hard to judge the depth, and Mario's movement is a little bit slow compared to what you're usually used to. However, everything's there that you'd like. The fire flower, the mushroom, the raccoon tail, which everybody's going crazy over, and Nintendo have made sure they've definitely plastered everywhere. There's a few more bits and pieces. I mean, they give you 4 levels. One of them's a boss level, the 2 of them are pretty easy levels, and a 3rd one's okay. You got bullet bills in there. A couple of the new things, I mean, you got a flower that spits ink all over the screen, so you can't see what you're actually doing. Trying to make things a bit more difficult. They've re-added in the flagpole at the end, so that you jump over and try and get as high as you can, get to the top, you get a 1-up. Oh, they're basically bringing back a load of the old Mario ideas and trying to mix it in with the new. It's kind of worked. Much like other Mario games, there's always going to be great levels, but whether it feels as a great game all the way through, or will end up a bit like Mario Sunshine and have a few odd bits here and there that aren't so great. At the moment, my feelings are positive. However, hopefully by the time it comes out, the movement's a bit increased, and I hope to be able to hear music, because I can't hear a damn thing in here. Shoot me in the balls. Okay, just played a little bit of Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater 3D. It is Snake Eater in 3D. There are a few changes. The control scheme obviously had to take a change with no second analog stick. So you use the face buttons to look around. You've got the shoulder buttons and the touch screen as well. Shoot me in the balls, shoot me in the balls. So it's a little bit different from the original. However, the gameplay for the most part is exactly the same. Shoot me in the balls, shoot me in the balls. And there was one change when you actually get to the bridge to go across. You actually have to use the gyro in the 3DS to make sure you balance yourself on the bridge, otherwise you fall off, but then you just climb back up. If you didn't get to play Snake Eater the first time, this might be a way to play it, but only hardcore Metal Gear fans are really going to want this. The 3D's not the greatest, and the gameplay's exactly the same as you'd expect, so unless there's some bonus extras that we haven't heard about yet, Snake Eater's pretty much the same game. Shoot me in the balls, shoot me in the balls. Okay guys, I'm actually quite excited about this one. We've got Resident Evil Revelations behind me. I haven't put the review out yet, but let's just say Resident Evil Mercenaries didn't exactly meet my expectations. I've been pretty upset with the Resident Evil series since 5. I have nothing but nasty words for that game. This feels like an actual throwback to proper Resident Evil. It's a combination of Resident Evil 4 5's control scheme mixed in with the atmospheric sections of Resident Evil 1 and 2. The game actually, while not containing zombies, more creatures like the end of Resident Evil 4, I think they were called regenerators. It's a bit different, no explanation as to why. The gameplay is very short, but it's really, really good. The controls feel tighter, the graphics feel nicer, and you actually get the feeling of original Resident Evil game from it. Hopefully, if the game continues in that vein, it's going to be a real return to form for Resident Evil. Gordon, where are you going? Gordon, come back. Gordon, come back. Oh God. I can't use a camera. Come back here and film stuff. Gordon, come back. Stop playing stuff. Stop playing with the. Sorry ladies and gentlemen, there's going to be a half-an-hour delay while my cameraman refuses to stop playing Star Fox 64. Do a barrel roll. Right, just played a little bit of Star Fox 64, otherwise known as Lilac Wars in England, but it's going to be called Star Fox 64 3D over here as well. It is basically an upgraded version of Star Fox 64, better graphics, slightly better tweaks on the controls. You've actually got a gyroscope to move the ship about. You can actually tilt the machine and so forth, and you don't actually lose too much of the 3D effect that you sometimes lose to some of the other games. We've also been informed that for the 4-player multiplayer, which I assume will be online as well, but they couldn't confirm that for me, you'll actually get an image of your opponent's face when you down them, seeing their anguish, as it were, as you knock them to the ground. However, they couldn't show that for us today. They only had the demo of 3 levels, including Corneria, which obviously Gordon could not resist. I'm going to do a sad face and pretend this is Nintendo's attempt to sabotage Sega, but I've just tried out the Sonic Generations demo for the 3DS. Unlike the console version, this may not be the best representation of Sonic at this time. The frame rate is poor, the level design isn't great. Well, the first level, rather than being a remix for 2D Sonic, is actually just the Green Hill Zone, and to be honest, we've played the Green Hill Zone. 3D Sonic is 2D Sonic, but with 3D Sonic's moves. It's not even a third-dimensional Sonic, but you know what, it's a 3DS, they can get away with it. So the problem is his moveset doesn't work in a 2D form, really. It doesn't feel like Sonic Rush, it feels like a game where the controls don't fit. Maybe it'll change in time. I mean, they gave us a boss level and the boss was alright. In fact, it had the Doomsday music from the end of Sonic and Knuckles. See, I know my stuff. But it just didn't feel good enough. It didn't feel like that console version that absolutely blew me away. This left me wandering away disappointed when all these other great 3DS games are on show at an early stage as well. We've just played a bit of Luigi's Mansion 2, and I have to say both Gordon and I are incredibly impressed with the game. The 3D is astounding. The setting that Nintendo have given us is astounding in here. I don't know whether Gordon's captured the full thing for you, but I'm sure you'll see it as we go. Surprisingly, I wasn't the biggest fan of Luigi's Mansion 1. I saw the flaws in it, but I also appreciated it. However, playing this, you realise how much effort Nintendo have put into it. The animation is astounding. The sound is brilliant. I keep using the word astounding. My only concern is it felt a little bit repetitive even while I was playing the demo, but then again, they're just trying to show you as you go, so it might be that the game changes it up a bit. Everything about the game, the lighting, the controls, is all actually top-notch, probably one of the best Nintendo titles I've seen here so far. I mean, that might change as I go along, but easily the best Nintendo title here. The 3D is actually worthwhile. I've seen no ghosting. The gyroscope actually at times doesn't even bother the 3D. Nintendo have done an amazing job with this, and it shows once again that Nintendo, when making their own game, know what to do with the 3DS. Okay guys, just trying a little bit of Mario Kart on the 3DS. It's a Mario Kart game. It's more like the N64 version than the Wii one or the GameCube version. You've got all the items you'd expect, levels you'd expect through random Nintendo encounters. We've had Donkey Kong on there. I think it was a beach level from Mario. You know, the usual affair. Only down to 8 races this time though for the demo. Whether there's more in the full game, I don't know. However, they got Koopa Troopa, so I don't care, because Koopa Troopa's the best character ever. I mean, there's not much more I can tell you. If you own a 3DS and you're a Nintendo fan, you're already planning to buy Mario Kart. There's nothing more I can... Wait a minute, what the hell is that? Okay, sorry about that, Gordon. I'm just stealing some food from the Nintendo people here. They're feeding us really well. But anyway, back onto the games. We've just tried out Kid Icarus. It's a bit like Panzer Dragoon. You kind of fly about. You've got more control than Panzer Dragoon. You can move pit left and right with the analog stick, but you use the stylus on the screen to actually aim your shots, pull the left trigger to shoot. That's kind of your sky section, and it's a pretty simple affair. Controls are nice. It gets a little bit of cramp in the end. Who knows, when it's at home you can rest on your lap, whatever. Then you go onto the ground levels and you can start to use the B button a bit more, actually get melee attacks in, depending on which weapon you choose. There was a number of weapons to actually choose at the beginning. I chose blades, Gordon chose bows, was it Gordon? Claws. Claws? Ah, you pansy. Right, anyway. So we both got to try out different things. It worked quite well. The only problem with the ground sections for me is that you still needed to use the stylus to look around in your surroundings, whereas the B button's attack, so you need 2 hands really. Extra bonus that we might not have known of. A lady over there just showed us new AR cards for the 3DS as well, which are all based off Kid Icarus characters. Put them on the screen, face them against each other, press A, they'll have a fight. We did actually try the old AR cards on it. That didn't work, whether that's just because it's a demo version or whether they won't work full stop. We don't know what they're going to be doing further with these AR cards. They seem a bit of a gimmick at the moment, but they're piling them on, so eventually we're going to have card collections on top of our 3DS. But as for Kid Icarus, the controls are my main concern. The game looks lovely, the 3D is quite cool, but I'm more concerned about how itchy the controls are going to get. You can say anything you like about Nintendo games, but having worked as a chef as well as a gaming critic, I know for a fact that this is tasty food. Nintendo are supplying us with anything they can get their hands on, and this is gorgeous. So, excuse me. Sod off, Gordon. Right, we'll start off with a bit of a positive and negative thing. We've just got to play Heroes of Ruin. Unfortunately, we're not allowed to take any footage at the moment, but we did have a Square Enix representative, one of the programmers. He was there and actually walked us through the game, gave us loads of information. Gordon got to play a hell of a lot of it, and he probably knows as much as I do, if not more. It's basically a Diablo-style game, sort of hack and slash, 4-player as well as single-player, online, local, that sort of thing, adventuring sort of mystic story. I mean, you've got your obvious sword magic, but you've got guns and stuff like that as well. It's drop in, drop out. It's got everything you would think you need, equipment, you know, the right sort of thing. However, there's a bit of a tweak to this stuff. I mean, they've focused on making the game really accessible. Like, everything should be really easy to do. To sell an item, you just got to press down on the D-pad at any time, or you can take it to a shop and get more money for it. If you want to equip something, you walk over it, you press it up. If you want to do a health potion, it's left on the D-pad. Anything that you actually want to do, they've tried to streamline it onto the screen so you can do it all at once rather than have to go through menu systems. What they've also tried to do is stuff like potions. They said, we don't want you to have a million like low potions by the end of the game. What we're going to do is make them more percentile health healing, so it doesn't matter whether you're a fighter or a gun mage, you're still going to get 50% health from a potion. It just depends how much health you have. It scales per character, so you can actually have a level 1 and a level 10 character together. The level 1 character won't suddenly hit level 9 after the level 10 guy kills 2 people. He'll get an equal amount of XP, but he'll also be on an easier setting and the aggro will be less on him, so it isn't more difficult for him. They've made sure everybody can play together and it isn't a problem. You can reserve slots, so you can have 2 slots for you and your mate, and you can leave 2 slots open to strangers as they go. When you sell something, you can put it in something I believe they called the Plaza or something like that, which is an online marketplace. So if you walk past someone with a street pass, suddenly the items you've sold will appear in their shop. So the more you go through it, the more stuff you actually get. Now, unfortunately, he has, as I've already said, not allowing us to take any pictures today. That's an old build, and they don't particularly want to show it at the moment, and Nintendo are being a bit strict. But for now, Heroes of Ruin is something I'd not really heard of before, and it's turned out absolutely amazing. It's really fun to play, so definitely keep your eyes on that one. Okay, so it's been a long show, and there's a lot to talk about, but I wanted to start with the 3DS stuff. Essentially, I wanted to talk about the fact that the Nintendo titles are great, but the ones that really surprise you are stuff like Resident Evil and Heroes of Ruin, which are absolutely amazing, and they're a bit of a surprise among all these games because you expect the Nintendo titles to be amazing. You're not so sure the third-party ones are, and to be honest, the third-party ones have shone here. See, the thing with the 3DS is that, to be honest, I found the machine a bit under par. Most of the games have either come out as 7, 6 out of 10, sometimes less. I mean, there hasn't been that much great quality, but this little machine is starting to shine a little bit more. Luigi's Mansion is amazing. Star Fox 64 do a barrel roll. I mean, Resident Evil, Kid Icarus, Heroes of Ruin, they're all really good looking titles. I mean, these are looking like 8, 9 sort of area. Okay, yeah, we've got Sonic Generations over there that looked a bit iffy if we're honest, and aiming a bit lower, but these games are brilliant. Mario, for example, and Mario Kart look more like console games than they do handheld games, but still have that lovely Nintendo quality of being something you can pick up and play and put down in 3 seconds time. It's something for a short journey, something that Sony with the PSP really missed out on, but Nintendo knew what they were doing with the DS, and they've just shown that they haven't just done a gimmick, they've still kept to what they knew.